Oh, hey. What's up? What you up to?
Just hanging out. Hold up.
Yeah.
What
do you got for me?
I brought a goat. Can I?
A goat. Pulling him out of a large briefcase. It looks like.
Yeah, I got
a goat. Is it for the podcast? Is this a gift?
Which camera? That.
Yeah, you want camera 2. That's your camera right there.
Camera?
Yeah.
Can I?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. It's I'm really, I don't know what to say, honestly.
I kind of forget.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot for a minute that this is not just like a like there's a podcast element to this too. There's people who don't know.
Well, it's important to push people to your online platforms, Yeah. So I don't know why I wrinkled this.
Talk about good podcast.
That's actually good audio right there that we're trying to pull. You got some more art for us. Oh, a naked woman with a sword.
You can't.
Okay.
You can't see anything if you're listening at home.
Yeah. Yes. No. There's no actual nudity.
But you could use your imagination.
Yes. Okay.
That's
great.
all.
Thank you. I honestly, I really would hope that more people would, come here bearing gifts of any sort.
Yeah, I brought you some big gifts. Okay, now I can hear myself. How's your water?
The water's, this is classic Hillsdale water right here.
This is actually Michigan.
Yeah,
this is Michigan water. Like you guys, Flint, go to Flint, Michigan. This is what it looks like.
We pulled this straight out of the tap, so that's why it's the color that it is. Actually, honestly, this does not look like bad tap water. Oh yeah, it's emergency. It doesn't look like bad tap water. It looks like
good tap.
Well, it looks like really unhealthy piss. It looks like somebody.
That's what tap looks like, baby.
It looks like somebody's very dehydrated and should be going to the doctor. But.
Do you remember $1 Million Extreme?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Really showing off. I was a big fan before it got shut down.
Yeah.
Especially the early stuff. There's a great. Not everything they do is great.
Yeah.
But there's a couple very quality ones, and there's one. The episode where they make tap.
Have
you seen that one? They go to this dude's house and he's like, "What are you making?" Like they're gonna have cocktails or something. He's like, "Oh, I'm making tap," and he's like, "No way!" And then he just pour a bunch of lead and toothpaste into it, and he's mixing it up with his finger. He's got gunmetal. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta get that fluoride in there."
Yeah. I feel like my favorite MDE sketch from the internet days was the Ross one.
Yes. Funky Nautical Fresh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just got back from Ross.
Ross.
Man, that guy. After everything happened with the, actually right now he's sort of like an internet main character. Do you know this?
Oh yeah. When how does he keep getting away with it? When the memes where people post him.
Yeah.
As having done other things.
So he actually became the subject of a online documentary.
Oh really?
Have you seen this?
No. I'm actually completely removed from the internet in very healthy ways.
Yeah, it's called Getting Away with It, and it's by this guy iDubbbz who used to be big back in 2016.
iDubbbz, yeah.
Yeah.
The name sounds familiar.
He's fallen off really hard, but he didn't.
But this is the comeback.
Well, so he did a documentary, and basally it was him being antagonistic. He was trying to
doesn't like Sam Hyde.
He was trying to expose Sam Hyde for his latent right-wingedness, and then. Basically, that all blew up. They made counter documentaries. It was the whole thing.
And then there's that quite people posting me how does he keep getting away with this or that? I didn't know that was because of iDubbbz documentary.
Yes, and then there was a couple of things he threatened to kill somebody the other day as a joke.
Recently, yeah.
Well, so he won a boxing match. It wasn't the other day. I guess it was a year ago.
Sam Hyde did?
Yeah, he won a boxing match because
he was always
invited.
He was all many things he did non-ironically, but he did many things ironically.
Yeah.
But he was non-ironically trying to be very machismo.
Yeah.
And manly, and it was the worst part of his
especially
whole
he's got a weird body. It's he's got alcoholic
it's
body.
It's worse than my body. And also very strange.
But he won his fight, and afterwards
against who, dude? Another
against some guy. Because there's this new thing now. Have you heard about this influencer boxing thing?
I guess I have. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was this main YouTuber influencer boxing thing he didn't get invited to because iDubbbz was in charge of it, and they were beefing.
Isn't iDubbbz a scrawny dude?
Yeah.
Is he just narrated?
He also fought and he lost, and then they just had a sequel to that, Creator Clash. They had Creator Clash 2. He lost again, even though he ran it.
Is there any part of this a joke? Or is it all pretty serious about like internet personalities who have like made YouTube videos about each other settling their beef?
Well, some people do that. I think the big thing is it's just serious about making money because fight promotion is super easy way to make money. There's all this like scandal stuff
on like BetMGM and stuff like that.
Because there's all this scandal stuff. They claim it was all going to charity, and then a bunch of it went to
nothing.
their pockets.
Guys, listen, faithful listeners.
Yeah,
and don't let Monomaniacs lie to you either. Nothing is going to charity.
Well, you work in nonprofits, so
yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
I'm a great steward of the resources.
Yeah,
actually, like
the land.
No, I'll work like 20-hour days because I don't want to like spend company money on another hotel.
Yeah,
because there's like poor children who need that money. Not everyone lives that way though.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not allowed to talk about work in this room.
That's true. This is a no work room.
Yeah,
we're both employed by people. So, but
we both work in this building, but in this room, we can't talk about it.
This is the no work zone. Yeah. But it got out of control, and now though he's kind of gained mainstream appeal again because he has this online reality show.
Sam does?
Yeah.
Really?
Called The Fish Tank.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Is that the Shark Tank?
Yeah. So what it is they take people who sign up. They did like a casting call basically, and they just take random like really low level influencers who have like 5 or 6 followers or whatever, who think that they're like micro celebs, and then they put them all into
5 or 6 being K.
No, 5 or 6 like followers period, but people who are like really prolific and posting all the time because they think that they're going to grow an audience.
They're gonna like,
so then they were like, we have this opportunity
about to pop off.
Yeah,
and
we
like,
have this opportunity.
With the big dogs. Okay.
So what they do is it's like Big Brother without any rules. So they just put them all into a house with cameras in every room, and then they would have. They would do stuff like they're all hanging out and et cetera, and people you can watch it, you can live it, you can log into it at any time.
Yeah,
but all these mainstream people.
It's just streamed. It's live streamed.
Yeah, it's just live stream. Okay. And all these people got into it because what they do is like Sam Hyde will show up, and he'll like kick down the door, like literally,
just, like,
and start screaming at them. Yeah. He'll be like, well, I'm back, fishies. And they'll like run in and start like throwing food at them and destroying objects. And
to see how they react.
Yeah, and now it's become this
is awful.
A very popular online streaming thing.
I'm disgusted.
I know. What do you think? What do you think of that has to say about anything that somebody's willing to? Because Big Brother already is insane. The fact that people do Big Brother. So it's like that for reality TV.
I'm pretty out of the loop, thankfully.
Yeah. So I mean, Big Brother started in like the '90s, but it's just a house where there's cameras everywhere. It's, it's all edited though. This is
streamed.
This is streamed.
Now I do like that. That there's some integrity there. That they're willing to go unedited.
Yeah.
Because who knows what could show up?
Yes. And apparently it's very good. And then they'll have like other YouTubers or like weird micro celeb guys like. I think you know who Airsoft Fatty is?
No, but I love Airsoft.
They just had
Fatty's
him show
name.
up. They had him show up. He's like a 300-pound kid from Marquette.
I could have guessed.
Yeah,
I could have guessed
based off the name.
Yeah,
he's from Marquette, Michigan, and he like makes videos of him
airsofting.
Yeah, running around with lightsabers
and
and
other things. Okay.
Yeah. He like cooks meals where he'll throw
Okay, all right.
American cheese into ramen, et cetera. Yeah.
So you were going somewhere with this. You had a question for me. Like, what do I think about this?
No, yeah. What do you think about? It's fame is becoming more and more micro as time goes on, but people are kind of willing to go to.
Look at you, internet
exactly
celebrity.
Micro celebrity. Yeah. We're famous
micro
to
celeb?
30 people. Wow. What's more micro than that?
Hi guys.
Hi to 30 people.
Hey. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching
our podcast, our comedy podcast.
Yeah,
our show.
The Brain Trust.
Thanks.
This is not Monomaniacs. This is Brain Trust.
This is big.
We've
never discussed what Brain Trust means. Like you keep using it, and you've used it in the past.
Yeah.
And when you first mentioned it to me, you use it as if like I knew what you were talking about. You're like, you want to be the Brain Trust, and I was like, I didn't know what you mean, but I didn't want to say like I didn't know.
It's bringing together the best minds.
Okay.
The Brain Trust.
It's just the two of us today. Everyone.
Yes. We didn't actually bring together.
No one's here. It was just Shad.
It's just Shad. Yeah. I was unsure. Palladino right now, he's hot. He's in a war zone.
He's you mean an in-law's wedding?
Yeah, well, that too.
I thought you just meant he's in politics.
Yeah, he's in politics. So it's like
big rep. Award 4. Yeah. Joshua Palladino. I voted for him. It's the first local election I ever voted in.
Yeah, I voted for him the primary before I moved.
It's because my neighbor kept asking me, "Are you going to vote for me?" And I was like, "I guess I will." Yeah.
That's the beauty of local politics. They can bother you.
Yeah, they will find you. They know where you live.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, the government couldn't know where I live, but he personally knows. In a way, this.
What are you saying? You don't pay your taxes?
No, actually, I'm really good about. Well, I actually get taxes back.
Really?
People complain about taxes. I guess you've experienced this where you lose money. I get money back. I get a tremendous amount of money back every year.
It's because you have a real
job and I pay actual taxes frequently. And
Yeah.
I have like children, and my wife doesn't work, so we're not in a great bracket. Even though I do all right for myself.
Yeah.
So I actually the government every year is like, well, you're going to give you a lot of stuff back.
Yeah.
Which is fair because they take
Mondo.
$20,000 from me a year. It's actually, I think it's the most insidious thing about like taxes is you get at the end of the year like, thanks, Uncle Sam. Like, wow, this is really cool. Like, I'm gonna get a couple G's, and then you realize that he like swindled me.
Yeah, well,
really,
you get a couple of G's, and then you're like, oh man, I'm gonna buy a guitar.
Well, here's the messed up thing, dude.
Yeah,
they don't even count sales tax. Like he's bending me over for 10%.
Well, I think if you
I am
can't
not
you get sales tax back?
I am not keeping receipts for every single purchase. I am not a boomer. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Well, I think if you you don't even have to keep receipts. Oh, whoa, dude! Is that
intentional?
I
just pulled a thumbtack out of your.
There was a thumbtack in my loafers.
Shoot, it could have been dangerous.
It could have been super dangerous.
I'm barefoot in here.
Yeah. Well, the last people in here left this place a mess.
We're not going to say.
We're not going to say it.
Lost Mary.
Lost Mary, whose hat I'm wearing right now, left this place a mess. So
cheers.
They almost killed Jake. Imagine him getting.
I don't think I had my Tdap either. I don't think I had my tetanus shot.
Getting a tetanus shot live on air.
Yeah. So anyway, Brain Trust is here. It's just Shad. Yeah. It's really intimate.
Yeah. We're actually. Really I think we should get to the bottom of some things.
Hey, I just want to say, Alec, I love you.
Yeah.
Really glad you're my friend. It's really good to be back.
Yeah.
I was really excited when you came back to Hills. I just feel like I don't tell you that enough.
Hey, I feel the same way.
It's good to be here with you.
I feel the same way, dude. I'm glad that we have an opportunity to be emotionally intimate in front of 40 people.
I was just thinking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't really like Dylan, so like this is
this is cool. Well, that's why you're on the Brain Trust episodes and not on other episodes.
Dylan smells like ham and cream cheese.
Ham and cream cheese? Yeah. Was that all wrapped around a pickle?
Around a pickle. I'm just kidding. I like Dylan. Dylan's great. Dylan, we miss you.
Yeah, Dylan's in the Pacific Northwest right now, living it up with my parents, having a time of his life. Sorry there was no episode last week.
Oh, really? You missed an ep?
I was unable to do it. And the funny thing is, and you might notice this, guys.
Why didn't you call me in for that?
Well, you should have called in. Somebody should have called you in.
Yeah.
I was unable to work because I had to do some stuff for some new carpeting that we put in our house, which that was a whole freaking hullabaloo. But
Josh and I could have gone solo.
Well, that
would have been wild.
Josh and you, or Dylan and you.
Oh, Dylan was here?
There's this weird convenient thing that happens where whenever
Dylan's gone a lot, and then Shad's like, "Well, I'm gonna do an episode anyway and call someone."
Whenever Dylan has to do, whenever Dylan's gone, an episode happens, and whenever I'm gone, there's no episode.
No.
Yeah,
Dylan has texted me before. And asked me to shop. I'm actually sorry. I've been asked a couple times to come on, and I've said no for the last 9 months. And it's been like real reasons. Like you reached out at least 4 times. And I've been like, I'm actually out of town. Sorry. So I apologize.
You travel for work. It makes sense.
I do.
I was informed the other day that I might be traveling for work.
Yeah.
We're
not going to talk about that though.
No. This is a no work zone.
Don't look us up on LinkedIn. Don't look us up on
LinkedIn. Yeah, no.
Drink tap.
I've actually started to kind of try and use. I know that you use LinkedIn for real.
Yeah, in like an obnoxious way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to my wife the other day because she's on Instagram and I'm not on Instagram, and she said, Jake is the only guy I know who tries professionally to use social media.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
She's like, you'll see an Instagram story, be like, hey,
it's Jake.
Yeah, it's Jake.
I'm out here at the fish tank.
Yeah.
I'm getting live.
Yeah, come on out.
No, I do have to as part of my job. And if you know me, you'll know that I have never used social media nor have social media. LinkedIn is the only personal social media I owned, and I downloaded it
for your work.
For my work, and I immediately started connecting with anyone possible. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, I have to get in LinkedIn that shows your number of connections, and if you're anything less than, when you hit 500, it's 500 plus.
Yeah.
Which is like gold tier, and then you can be like a real person. And I was like, if I have less than 500, they'll know I'm a fraud. And then I just started using LinkedIn, so I just like added as many people as possible.
So just a bunch of Indian guys and people asking you to like,
dude, wild things, man.
I really, the stuff that you get. Actually, did you see? You probably didn't see this because you're not on social media, but this guy posted this apology on LinkedIn where he's like, sorry yesterday about my Hitler post. And it was like I think it was like a guy he was ESL, he was like Pakistani or something, and he did a post.
Oh, he didn't know.
Somebody found the post because he deleted it, but he found it. But it was like basically doing a because there's this classic LinkedIn post. LinkedIn's wild. Like one of my favorite things about it is it'll be like a clip from a movie.
The most garbage.
Yeah, it'll be a clip from some random movie that's a Netflix only. It'll be like, this is what leadership is about.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be like 1.5 speed. It'll be about a wolf like helping other wolves.
It'll be like people in I don't know, like Sri Lanka, like trying to pull a baby elephant out with like piano music in the background. They're like, compassion can change the world. Follow me and subscribe to learn more about big tech in India.
So a guy tried to do something like that where he
with Hitler.
Yeah, well, so there was like lightning emojis, but like lightning emojis are different when you're talking about Nazis. But there was like lightning emojis. And it was like
Blitzkrieg, baby.
Oh man, what is it that motivated Hitler? All these people followed him. Perhaps we should be thinking about him as a great leader, someone we should be looking up to.
And he got blasted.
He got blasted, and then so the next day he was like, "I'm sorry for everybody who didn't like my Hitler LinkedIn post."
I repent.
Yeah.
No, LinkedIn is the worst because there's actually no real content. It's just people like reliking, reposting things. Yeah. Because they're like, ugh, I should probably stay relevant in like some minor capacity in case someone wants to give me a job offer or something.
Yeah. I gotta.
Zero actual content.
I only ever connect with people who I see have other connections with people I know.
Yeah.
And I got a connection from somebody. First off, I never accept a connection if they send me a paragraph with the connection.
I never send.
Where they're like,
it's just a connect.
I'm just trying to grow my network. I'm hoping that we could work together in this space to blah, blah, blah. And you're like, nope, not even going to do that.
You could get raped.
Yeah.
That's
a dangerous
stalker.
That is a LinkedIn stalker. But
why do you need an excuse? The program, the platform exists to randomly connect with people. If you have to justify the outrage, like I'm gonna be. Really
have you ever upvoted someone's skill before?
No, someone did it to me randomly yesterday, and I was like, it's a little sauce. Actually, I was like, why? I was thinking, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
because I don't actually use a platform like that.
I was thinking it'd be funny to do that to people, sort of like when you like Venmo transactions. So that they get the notification of like, why the hell is somebody upvoting my skill?
I'll tell you what, I did respond to him. I was like, thanks, man. Yeah. And I knew he was looking for a job, so I was like, how's the job search going? So it did start a conversation. I don't know if he did that for that reason.
Did it have the open for work thing on this thing?
No, I just know because I know him. I actually know the guy personally. So anyway, LinkedIn sucks. We should probably stop talking about it.
I don't know. I kind of want to keep talking about LinkedIn. There's one thing that's funny to me about it. And it's the only type of social media where
did you prep this combo?
No.
You're like, I've got a whole LinkedIn thing for
I've been
Jake
spending
tonight.
a couple of days on LinkedIn because a friend of mine...
You just found a job. You don't need to be looking.
Well, so a friend of mine just moved and then lost his job and is looking for new work. And so
it's like a good friend. You're doing it for him.
Well, I sent him a connection request and then messaged him on LinkedIn, and then I was like looking around. And it's so funny because I was looking at his profile, and it's every other social media platform, you present a fake version of yourself, right?
Yeah.
You 2.0, you're like, it's me, but I'm funnier. It's
or a version of you that's like too real.
Yes.
It's like you if you were the rawest you all the time, and it just becomes like awful.
So it's that, but you're creating a bastardized business reflection of yourself. Like I was looking at this guy's bio or his goal, or whatever it is, the thing that was like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And it was just insane business jargon. Just stuff that
he was shifting the paradigm. He was like, I am in it to leverage maximum stakeholder value and make sure that everyone leaves business satisfied.
Yeah. He was maximizing synergies. And as I was reading it, I was like, this guy, I've talked to him thousands of times. There's no way in hell he would ever say that. Never.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it's a grift almost that, I mean, I know a lot of people apply for jobs through LinkedIn. Most jobs are through word of mouth if people actually get them, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like the only reason everybody's on LinkedIn is because everybody says you have to be on LinkedIn.
Yeah, maybe. And the younger generations are not doing that anymore. I'm not going to go into my job, but I do hire people. Yeah. And they're the younger generation. And they are more and more not active in any positive way on LinkedIn, which is fine. It used to be like a better platform for that post-COVID. I don't know. They're on TikTok or some wild stuff. But
send me a TikTok resume.
Yeah, I mean, what LinkedIn exists for me is to see if someone is worth contacting.
Yeah. Where they've worked for. it's like a resume.
Yeah, no, there's like there's some specific it really is just like I need to see your resume.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I will check people. I'll like have people's info or like touch base with them. And I will literally look on LinkedIn and be like, should I call this person or send them an email? I don't repost the elephant videos. Actually,
it's such like I'm on Facebook rarely, and
you have Facebook?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Just
my wife does.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace.
She gets you the Facebook. Well,
she like, dude. I don't know. Is anyone else who's like, this is where women go when they get married?
This is the new women be shopping. Is women be on Facebook Marketplace?
Women be shopping.
Yeah.
On Facebook Marketplace.
On Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. When we first moved into our new house, I mean, it was just like, can we drive 45 minutes and spend $150 to buy a desk?
Gosh, dude. Listen, Facebook Marketplace. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Take some real pictures because I am not driving 50 miles to see if it's in good shape or not. Like, get some good lighting, upload a real picture, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
There's so many times I'm always like, I'll take a look at this. Should we check it out? And I'm like, Illinois is kind of far away. Actually, we're in Michigan, and that's hours away.
Yeah.
So we can't drive there to look. I know you like that Sete Lounge, but like we can't go.
Yeah, it's out of control. I don't know. I actually I think now that our house...
your wife is pregnant.
Yes.
So the deal is too is that she'll look at things and be like, I can send Shad to get this for me.
Yes.
Because she physically cannot get it or bring it back.
Well, so that happened. You and I, we could clear the air on this, but you and I were supposed to go get an item.
Yeah.
And then it fell through.
Yeah.
Right, because of scheduling issues.
Well, I just had a call that went for an hour and a half instead of 30 minutes. Believe you me, I didn't want to be on that call. I wish I was at Brenda's place in Pittsburgh.
Brenda's place. Yeah, thank you so much, Brenda.
Shout out to Brenda's place. Thanks for the water, Brenda. Cheers.
Brenda's
Thanks
place.
Thanks for your tap.
Brenda's place. Check her out on Facebook Marketplace.
Get that tap.
First sponsor for the Brain Trust, Brenda's place.
At Brenda's place.
Yeah, no, luckily now the house is actually too full, so we don't buy new furniture.
So now she's going to start selling things on Facebook Marketplace.
I doubt it. I think I'm just going to be moving them to the basement. I imagine that's what it is. Because when you got a baby on the way,
don't buy a house with a basement.
Why is that?
Because you're just going to put things you bought from Facebook Marketplace in the basement, and they will live there for a really long time until 20 years later. You have to call me when we're even older and fatter, and we have to lift it out together.
So speaking of that,
clear the air on that, buddy.
So the previous owners of our house, they had I think the mother-in-law or something lived there, and so they slammed all of her heirlooms and stuff in the basement. They moved when she died, and then they took everything. And, yeah. But in order to keep it safe, they paid for this insane waterproofing. So
in the basement.
In the basement.
You told me about this. Yeah.
So it's unfinished. But
you
totally waterproof.
It's dry as a desert down there.
Dry as a desert down there. There's 2 humidifiers.
There's a bunch of lizards and scorpions in your basement. Like most Michiganders have spiders.
Yeah, we have lizards and scorpions.
And scorpions.
That'd actually be kind of awesome to have, the lizards and scorpions.
When you go to your base, there's just a bunch of sand down there.
There's a flute playing.
It's the Sand Temple.
Generic
in any Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah,
dude.
generic Middle Eastern woman going.
Great
it's
stuff.
the Dune soundtrack. The Dune soundtrack starts playing every time I go down in the basement. I don't know. I've thought about though turning it into a bit of a hobby space because
you can have a free selection of sand for your basing. For your desert towel forces.
Yeah, for the desert towel forces. No, the problem with it is that one of my hobbies, I've mentioned this on the show before, is painting, and while I'm doing it, as in painting miniatures.
Yeah.
But Becca is very adamant about me doing it somewhere near her, so that it's not something that I'm doing.
I know, amen.
Isolated. That I'm not.
You have to be doing the thing next to them.
Yes.
Next to them.
Yes. It's like all these guys online who still game. You'll see they'll see the influencers and stuff on the internet. They'll be like, I love my gamer girlfriend. And the gamer girlfriend.
She plays Facebook Marketplace. Yes. And she's on Facebook playing Farmville and scrolling for desks next to him. I was like, I know about that.
Imagine getting your actions per minute up on Facebook Marketplace. You buy a desk and it's your APM was 355.
That's really what it needs to be. If you had stats for it, women would lose their mind if they saw the deals.
No, it's the opposite.
Oh, dude.
It's the opposite. I think that women would be shy away from the stats. I think that over-statifying That's a dude
It
thing.
would become a guy thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no. But and he's not statifying, but like
Yeah.
if there was like a way to compare the deal you got to some other woman, and it was like showing off who had the best deal. So if you can have like someone who is an official like Facebook Marketplace approved
leaderboard,
not a leaderboard, but like who's when you look at antiques and you evaluate them, is it just like an evaluator? What do you call that? Is there a name for this? But you know, you could like look at it and evaluate and be like, oh, you got this for X price. It was really worth Y. Brenda, you killed it. Like, well done. And then you could like show that off. And you
Marketplace
can see,
achievements. You're describing achievements.
Who is the? There's achievements for it.
I know. I'm saying that's what you're describing.
Okay,
Marketplace achievements. Marketplace gamer score.
Yes.
You know,
gamer score. ESG.
Yeah.
Okay. Marketplace ESG.
ESG. You're talking about like.
Yeah.
The
I am. We're done, dude.
ethical.
yeah, we're done. It was a joke. We're not getting political here.
Yeah, we're not getting political. We're not talking about ESG, right?
No.
Yeah. No. I think that might work. Although I'm having a hard time kind of imagining, women really zeroing in on that, unless of course they can lord it over their friends, because that's what matters.
Be careful, dude. Some women. My wife listens to this show.
She does.
Yeah. She wants you to know she's ready to come on anytime.
Oh, really?
After she gives birth, and she said she won't do it without a beer. I think she secretly feels like she should have had an invitation by now. But
okay.
I told her, you want to come on? And she's like, I couldn't do that. I would. She thought I'd be scared. But if I could have a beer after I'm not pregnant.
I'd love to have Heather on the show.
Yeah,
it'd be great. It'd be really fun.
You should get her. You should do a mom's episode.
Well, the thing is that
I love you, baby. I don't mind that you watch Facebook Marketplace.
Watch Facebook Marketplace.
That's what she does. She watches it like
like
every
a hawk?
night. Yeah, she comes on and she watches.
Jacob,
deals.
do we need billiard balls?
When COVID hit, we almost got like a billiard table for our house in Denver. Like me, my brother, and our friend. We were like about to. Okay, because here's how it is. We actually had like in your house, you know how you have that side room?
Yeah.
We had like a little side room like that, but even smaller. And we were going to take literally like the entire family room. That's me, dude. Let me turn on my phone.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the entire, family room and move it into this and like double stack the couches. We were like, we're gonna have like the den, like it was gonna be an entertainment zone, and the rest of the room, which was not very big, was going to be devoted to billiards.
That would have been the time to do it.
No, it wasn't really. It was. We almost did it. The problem is you could fit the table, but then there was no space to play. Yeah, because you couldn't move your hand back far enough.
Yeah.
So like it was gonna be trick shots only.
Yeah, trick shots only. Well, you can buy multi-length sticks. You could figure that out. I feel like though they do make mini tables, which is hilarious because it's not like you can go and compete in mini table.
But you get mini tables, but the balls are also smaller too. Mini balls would be adorable, dude.
Yeah, you just got it. It's basically dollhouse size.
Yeah.
No, I feel like that would have been the time. That would have been fun.
Yeah. But then it just fell apart.
My pandemic was not nearly that productive.
No, we had a great pandemic, dude. I mean, I continued to work and get paid.
Oh man,
we were all essential workers in some capacity, but our jobs just became even more of jokes. And then I was teaching, so I had like a summer salary. So then summer hit, and it was great, dude. Pandemic was super chill.
I wish I kind of got that lucky because I worked in live radio, so I had to be everywhere. You know, I had to ride the train by myself. I don't think I've talked about this on the show, but like
he's gonna get vulnerable.
Yeah, well, exactly. Guys, I experienced trauma on the DC Metro.
Yeah,
I was
alone.
Yeah, I was alone. The funny thing was I was the only guy on the train. So
there was 500 women.
Well,
Shad
it was just me and the ladies, and I was like,
single women. Are you single?
I'm taking, God, ladies. No, the wild thing was that it was me and all of the guys who were trying to score, right? Panhandlers, that sort of thing.
You're talking about like looking for like scoring with women.
No.
It was the boys' night. Yeah. The whole place smelled like Axe body spray.
Yeah. No, just pickup artists, like guys called The Illusion are walking up to me. They're nagging me. Yeah. They're like, I like your nose. It's too big. And I'm like, whoa, maybe I should sleep with this guy. No, so I would be the only target. Yeah. And it was for like a week, I think, or 2 weeks before they realized that there wasn't people on the train.
Yeah.
And so they would just be like, "Oh well, there's the one guy." So I'd be hit
He's back.
I'd be hit by 4 dudes. Like I'd get on my train.
Yo, what's up?
And then every stop, a dude would walk up to me.
Yo, big nose.
Yeah, exactly.
You got 50?
Yeah.
Give me.
They would ask me for 50, and then of course I would be like, I actually
started.
You
got 350?
I started running a thing on them.
Yeah.
Where I would pretend to cry. No
Wait,
joke.
really?
Yeah. Where I would say, I don't have any cash.
I just lost my job.
And they would be like, no, man, I got Venmo. And I'd say,
wait, stop.
Yeah.
People in DC, panhandlers are using Venmo?
Well, no, this is how it is in all metropolitan areas.
No, dude. Not.
No, it's in New York too.
Never seen it, dude.
You haven't seen it?
And I give people money and I like chat with them. I say no. Like I like do the thing where like I stop and talk to homeless people.
Yeah.
I like buying food.
You haven't seen it? It's like on the signs and stuff. It'll be like
once.
at, Venmo.
No, never seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is dastardly.
Yeah.
Dude. There's no excuse.
Well, the thing about DC and a lot of major cities, well, there is an excuse there because they all get phones for free.
Yeah.
That's like one of the major government programs. And then, there's Wi-Fi coming out of every McDonald's.
Yeah.
So they got phones. They can do Venmo or whatever. But, guys would come up to me and say, I don't have any, and I'd be like, I don't have any cash. And I'd be like, I got Venmo.
God,
Hit me up on Venmo. And I would say, no, dude. And I would drop my face and I'd be like, I've got no cash. And I'd be like, you think I'm riding the train in a global freaking pandemic? Because I've got money, And they'd be like, whoa, okay. All right.
You were a thespian, dude.
Yeah.
So they left you alone.
I had this guy who was my favorite guy, who he became more active when people just started going back to work. And he would walk up to you and he'd say, hey, nice to meet you. I'm John the Panhandler.
John
he would hit you with I'm John the Panhandler.
John P. Handler.
Yeah, John P. Handler. And he would say, I don't want to take too much of your time. And he basically hit you with like a business proposition.
Yeah.
He was, I want you to finance me. I'm really on the up and up and et cetera. And when I first met him, I was like,
follow my stats on Facebook Marketplace.
I'm
hustling. I'm on the grind.
I was like, I'm not really used to this sort of presentation here, man.
Caught me off guard, John.
But the thing is that he hit me like 5 times because he would be my stop.
Yeah.
And it started to get to the point where after like the 3rd time, I was like, he would walk up to me to be like, hey, I'm John the Panhandler. And I'd be like, John, we've had this conversation 3 times, man.
No one's on the subway. It's just you and me, dude.
It's just you and me.
And then he realized John was schizophrenic and there's a reason that he's panhandling.
Yeah. He would be like, he actually was very gracious whenever I was like, hey, man, we've had this conversation like 3 times. He'd be like, oh, man, I'm sorry, dude. You have a good one. And he'd walk off. That reminded me of the time I gave some money to a guy who was, I've always unsure because, it's like it's a delicate dance. One time, I definitely haven't told this story on the show. One time I said no to a lady because I didn't have any cash. I had no cash.
Yeah.
And I gave her money a couple of times. She took the red line and she asked me if I had any cash. I said no. And I was praying a rosary.
Yeah.
And I had it next to me, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't being ostentatious about it. I was just praying the rosary on the train.
Yeah.
She looked at the rosary, grabbed it.
Tried to steal it?
Smashed it.
Yeah.
All over the train. Screamed at me.
Yeah.
For
not having money?
No, yeah. She said, why do you keep God to yourself?
Yeah.
And then she
got you, dude.
And then she ran up and down the train. And,
checkmate atheists.
Checkmate atheists. And then she started running around the train and screaming at everybody. And then she kept coming up to me and she pushed me up against the chair.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was insane. I never saw her again, actually, after that. So
well, you should that's your chance to evangelize, dude. That you could have witnessed.
Well, I don't know if she was super receptive to the message at that moment.
No, I'm kidding. No, I definitely do the thing where I don't give people money, but I'm like, can I buy you some McDonald's or something? And then I try to talk to them about Jesus. No, I actually don't. I normally I'll ask them to pray for me though. I do think people who are down and out and homeless just need someone to pay attention to them in a way that's not like really like patronizing
or like contractual.
Yeah, or contractual. But no, I think because they're always like receiving and something. I think it's very. I don't want to say empowering because that's a loaded word.
Yeah,
that's a buzzword. No, but there is something that like makes them feel like a real human being to be needed or wanted in some capacity. And so I always ask them to pray for like my family. And sometimes like I don't really pray, and that can spark a conversation. But I always ask people to do something in that capacity, and then I'm like asking them to help me, and they have like it puts them in a space of like human agency, which I think throws people off guard sometimes. So that's always the move. I tell people no, but I'll buy you some food. Yeah.
I mean, did you ever like get hit back on that?
Yeah. Not by people who are homeless and panhandling. Definitely by like I'll do the same thing if people are like leaving the bar and ask to like bum a cigarette or something.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah, you can have one. I'll be like, hey, do me a favor. You gotta pray for my family. Be like, oh, yo, I don't need God. Like drunk people at the bar who want a cigarette are very different. So that engages different conversations. But by the end of it, they'll be like, okay, fine, I'll pray for your baby.
It's a different world though when you're in New York, because in New York you can buy Lucy's.
Yeah, no. Oh, dude. If you've gotten in, you got to know the person or not be white. Because they don't sell to white people.
At the bodegas, yeah.
Dude, at any smoke shop, you can go to a smoke shop and I was like, oh no, we don't sell tobacco here. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Excuse my language. Sorry, I wasn't gonna swear this time.
Yeah.
No, I get kicked out in the Bronx all the time. They think you're a narc. Yeah, and then you gotta like build a relationship. And so the only place you can go is, dude, it was $17 for a pack of smokes.
Yeah. No, it's insane.
At
when I lived in New York
or whatever.
When I lived in New York, I bought one pack of cigarettes and I made it last the entire summer because it was $17. For some like Marlboro 27s.
The ultimate like quitting move for me, because I've been quitting for a decade.
Yeah,
is to buy it was $13 back when I lived there.
Yeah,
buy a $13 cigarettes and like smoke a couple and then throw the away rest and be like, I don't give a shit.
I don't need the $13.
You got no power over me. No, it really is, and I really stopped to like value cigarettes because it used to always be, well, I'll quit when I'm done with this pack. You know? Yeah, and so if you can just have like one and then toss it and be like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
and then 3 days later,
you can't serve both God and mammon. And it's like, I don't need it.
And then a week later, you've had 3 beers, and you're like, you know what would really top the night off?
Another 13. So, well, here's the thing, and that's fine, because in either case, if I had kept the cigarettes, I would have just smoked all of them. Yeah, and I still would have gone out to buy another $13 pack after having those 3 beers. So, I got the fix I needed in the moment, and threw away the rest. Now, eventually, you make an in, and then you can just go buy Lucy's, which is great. It's like $1 for like 2 cigarettes or 3 cigarettes, which is, you're getting ripped off, but it's better than $13 for 1 cigarette.
Yeah. You just be like, hey, is Reggie here?
Reggie, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it would not be Reggie. It was like Yusuf or like Ibrahim
Yusuf.
or like either Armenian or
I was in New York visiting my sister-in-law and her boyfriend had this friend who was hanging around.
Yeah, those guys.
And he was kind of this like a self-righteous type, kind of like a lib, you know? And he was very adamant about this. But he would go, we went to multiple bars. We did a bar crawl. And then we went to a convenience store to buy some beer. And the guy, like, I'm not even joking, every time we interacted with an ethnic person, we'd like hit him with just the most racist shit. Like, just like every time. Yeah, every single time. It was insane. Like he would... You know, there was like a UFC fight the next day, and there was this Arabic guy fighting, and he would like bring it up to every Arabic guy he saw, and then he would like we started dropping into like the inshallah, stuff, and you're like, dude, calm down, right?
Dude, so here's the strange thing: is like we live in a very like racially polarized time, and I'm assuming you're not racist. I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm obviously. Most people would be like, "Oh, you're participating in systems of power." I have no problem with people of various like ethnic or racial backgrounds, and then you meet people like as like a white person living in like a very white town.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, like it's cool. Like we're a homogenous community. No one's actually racist. And then once in a while you meet somebody like, oh damn, he's actually racist. There actually are people out there who are super racist. They are like a fringe like minority.
They're running around. I think there is a certain
there's
armor.
There's some pushback. There is like a thing, but it's definitely like once in a while you meet somebody you're like, oh, he actually does believe like some very wild things. And then it's even worse as you meet people who aren't actually racist but think it's funny to say racist things because they just like are bad at telling jokes, and so they default to like crass things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like there is, I think, room for like very funny if it's coming from the right direction and being said to the right people, like ironic, mutual, racial razzing, right? But the second that it kind of comes from a place of dominion, I'm lording this over another person, that's where it becomes really iffy.
No, and it's not even like the dominion thing. They're just like, there are people who are like, are just racist out there. Yeah. And like in like a weird way, you're like, oh, you actually believe wild things. It's a very, very small group of people though. But you meet them once in a while, you're like, oh damn. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you like that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I think a perversion in a lot of ways of the gospel.
I think honestly, dude, we got to cut out this whole conversation. We can't talk about race on a podcast, dude.
I think you can as long as you're kind of willing to kind of do it properly.
Don't worry, I voted for Obama. Don't worry, I'm good.
You got the I voted for Obama armor?
I didn't vote for Obama.
Did you even vote?
I could have. No, I didn't vote I didn't vote for like a very long time. I think this last like election cycle was the first time I voted.
You were kind of like concerned with other things at the time, though.
I did not care. About politics. I still really don't.
Are you coming from that from like I'm a part of my community, or are you a big brain centrist where you're like I don't like both parties sort of situation?
No, it's both. I do think. It was also me just being like lazy and not wanting to like fill out like the out-of-state voter form. No, I mean I do think the presidential election matters.
the presidential erection. How much water have you had?
No, dude. I mean, you're telling me the last 3 election cycles were not presidential elections? Dude, I can't believe no one's ever like used that term before.
No, they have used that term before.
I can't believe I didn't know they used this term.
You have not stumbled upon a gold mine, I assure you.
No, I think I did, dude.
Yeah.
To me. Anyway, no. I just don't care for politics.
Yeah. Understandable.
I can't believe that we know so many people who are involved in politics.
Yeah.
And you could not pay me any amount of money. You could not convince me under any circumstances to participate in politics in any capacity outside of voting.
Yeah. Well, I understand that kind of that worldview, especially. I do think that there is some value to, especially local politics.
That's
kind of affecting
fine.
the way that it affects your daily life.
I believe in participating in politics in as much as like there's a polis, like a social order, and the politics is simply referring to like the hierarchy and ordering of society. And I think I have participated in that in meaningful ways through my personal actions and through like my relationships and through my work. I think I've done things that have benefited the political body, but I'm participating in like a 4-year American presidential election is not like that's not what I'm
well, you are erecting a president. I guess
erected every 4 years.
A fun fact about when you mentioned polis, I didn't know this. I was watching a video the other day about the Peloponnesian Wars and the invasion of the Persians into Greece. And how many able-bodied men do you think the Spartans had at their disposal when Cyrus the Great invaded?
When he invaded?
Yeah.
You're talking like post like 300?
Yeah.
How many do they have in...
No. I mean,
5,000.
Am I wrong there saying Cyrus the Great? I'm saying like during
Xerxes.
Xerxes. There
Xerxes.
When Xerxes invaded.
Okay.
Yeah, not Cyrus. Okay. My bad. When Xerxes invaded.
Yeah.
How many able-bodied men do you think that the Spartans total had access to?
5,000.
3,000.
3,000.
3,000. Now, Athens had a much larger population.
They did.
But, I mean, to think that a full political body with its own representation, total sovereignty over itself, had 3,000 able-bodied men total.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking about this statistically, if you're talking about mortality rates.
100 million, dude.
Yeah. Well, so, if you're thinking about the average, I'm sure there's probably, I'd guess if there's 3,000 able-bodied men, there'd probably be another 1,500 unable-bodied men.
They were uber chads. There was 10,000 women.
Uber chads.
Well,
so no, I think
10,000 women, and half of them were taken from Athens because they were betas.
Yeah, I think honestly there'd probably be less than half of that number, or actually probably, less than a parity. So probably like 2,000 able-bodied women,
and they practiced child sacrifice.
Yes, and child sacrifice. So
it was like 10 kids.
So it's iffy, but that's less than the population of Hillsdale City.
Yeah, dude.
Right? And
I mean, if you look at, that's less than population of Hillsdale City, but I'd argue there's less than 3,000 able-bodied men in Hillsdale. and we are not among them.
If we were and we invaded, yes.
If we looked at Hillsdale mustering, oh, buddy.
We would not be up to the mustering standards of the Spartans.
Man, but there's enough guys in Hillsdale who are like, I'm Spartan level.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Like, driving around with like their
camo
pickups.
Well, the thing is, though, is that your physical your physical ability.
I think I just
doesn't have to be very high as long as you can carry.
I think I just hit a
rifle.
monomaniacal obsession, dude.
What's that?
Wait, finish your thought. But I think
No.
I think we finally hit it. Like, how far into this are we? When did we start?
I don't know. Honestly, I realized about 15 minutes
didn't
ago
time
that
this.
we haven't been paying attention.
Yeah,
So,
it's great.
and my
this is
eyesight
the most
great.
out. Hey, who am I? This is as good as any to thank our Patreons.
Yeah.
For oh,
Thank you to
cringe.
the patrons. Thank you to Sammy Roberts, Zach and Amber Straley, Joe Papalardo, and Luke Robson as the top patrons. Yeah, we got a Luke Robson top patron.
Really?
Yeah, he's moved in. And to everybody else in the Patreon.
Dude.
Yeah, getting colonized. We're a part of the buying scheme of Luke Robson. We actually had him on the show. He explained himself. It was a very interesting episode. You should check it out.
I don't actually listen to your podcast.
No, understandable.
And here's the thing. I heavily listen to it, and sometimes I hear snippets. And this has happened 3 times already, where you have told me something on this show that I have heard from you before. I put on an episode when I was driving home like late at night from like the airport, or maybe I was driving from like Ohio or something, but it was very late at night, and I was like, I gotta listen to something. I put the boys on, and I started listening to episodes. I was like, dude, this is the 4th time I've heard Shad talk about Stevie Nicks in the last week, and I was like, I don't need to like hear this again. And I get it; it's cool because like, you know, we're social creatures, and we have a friend group, and like you're interviewing people from your friend group, and we talk. We have some beverages. We have a good time. People are sharing conversations. That happens on the podcast. Like, dude, I've talked with Dylan and Shad about these things before. I don't need to hear the conversation again.
Well, the funny thing is about our audience is that, and I'm sure that somebody sitting down and listening to this right now would probably say the same, is that it's actually mostly people that we don't know personally. Mostly
it's
people
become that way.
It's growing. It's growing more in that direction. So it's growing.
Yeah, but you got a tight listener base that is like your close friends who are just like sitting there waiting for like their shout out. Like, like Boomer's at home right now, like stroking his mustache just like this. And he just did the smile, and he's like, "Oh, I got it," you know, like we've got like friends who are like, "I'm gonna dial in and hear it."
Well, Boomer's episode is one of our most viewed. It's very funny. He promoted it.
Everyone. Boomer got on LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly, and promoted it. But no, more and more people. So the thing is, the reason I know it's more and more people is because the audience is growing.
Okay.
The average viewership is growing. I mean, it's not exploding, but it's growing.
We're up 5 this week.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a lot like that. But the more people who are close to us personally are less and less of those people are listening.
To
I mean,
because I see you every day. Like, I don't need to hear. Like, I love you. I'm actually like, what episode is this?
This is, I think, 55, 56.
It's amazing. You hit more than a year.
Yeah.
And that's including the episodes Dylan skipped. So, like I'm so impressed by that. Congratulations. I am actually awed by anyone, let alone my close friends, who diligently do something for like more than 2 weeks, because I can't. So it's like, it's great and impressive, but then I'm like, I talk to this dude pretty much every day. Like, I used to see you every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I mean, it's, and I mean,
Heather loves it though. Heather listens.
No, that's
to
great.
The episodes.
She's a great listener.
Shout out, babe. I love you, babe. I'll be home tonight, babe. All right, babe.
She has good comments.
Sorry about what I said about Facebook Marketplace, babe.
Well, you would hope that you'd be home tonight.
And race relations. I didn't mean that, babe. I love you.
But yeah, no, it's funny that it's kind of moving in that direction, because that means...
What direction? That people's wives are just listening to it?
Well,
now?
so that's the thing, is it's mostly people who we don't know or spend a lot of time with.
Or who
I see Heather all the time.
Who know you but don't talk to you, so they haven't heard your take on like Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
You know that many times.
You want to talk about Stevie Nicks again?
They don't know that you paint Warhammer figurines, right? Because I don't come into the office and have you show me your new paintings, you know? Yeah.
I'm working on some great stuff right now. But yeah, no, I mean, it's it's understandable, because the real power of podcasting, and I say this all the time, is parasocial.
Parasocial, people's moms. Yeah.
Well, no, it's about creating a relationship that doesn't actually exist. You know,
that sounds really schmarmy.
It sort of does, but no, it's true though. It sounds like too high concept and weird.
No. But that's not why you podcast.
No. The reason I podcast, honestly,
is you like it.
I like it.
No, and that's why you've continued to do it for a year, and it's really cool that you're doing something simply because you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. That's art, baby. Okay. I love you, babe. No, but that's that's why you should do something.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that. Most people probably don't do it for that reason.
Yeah.
and I don't listen to your show because of that reason.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've been doing a lot of research lately about what makes successful podcasts.
Yeah.
And the way that we do this, it's not very high on the list.
Yeah.
Right? And
no, but you guys have good shots. That's the thing. I like Monomaniacs. I really do like Monomaniacs. I just don't need to hear you guys talk about the same things that we talked about the night before.
Yes. Totally understandable. But that's the thing is that,
But I think you guys do a really good job. I'm actually very impressed.
Most people will say
professionals all get out, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got good reports from people who've been on the show. If you're interested in being the show,
there's
reach
a
out.
podcast I listen to. I have one podcast I listen to. That's the other reason. I've actually just cut down on podcasts. I listen to maybe the first 30 episodes, and then I cut it out. It's been really good because guys, podcasts are toxic. You do not need to listen to. This is a big waste of your time.
I've said this on the show before, but I have brought up the type of podcasts and the quantity of podcasts I listen to in confession.
It's not good
I
for
have
you.
mentioned it in confession before.
It's
I mentioned it in confession a couple last week.
Some gluttony stuff, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the problem. What you don't know is Father Dave's listening to this too right now. He's like, "Oh shit, Rack! If only you knew."
The's no way.
I've heard him talk about this before too. No.
What's the one podcast you listen to?
So I listen to. Should I say? I listen to. It's a big plug actually. I listen to New Polity, which is based out of. It's some guys down at Franciscan University of Steubenville who are doing very polarizing Catholic political teaching, which most people hate, and I absolutely love. It's very scandalizing to many people, which so good. And I think they're saying the gospel truth. They're actually very good about what they're saying is things that they're just reiterating teachings of the Catholic Church in relation to the political body and quoting the gospel, which not a fast way to piss off a lot of people than quoting the gospel. Jesus was great at that, dude. No one got a political body under the skin faster than that, man. So it's I don't know, it's polarizing, it's divisive, it's cool, it's great. I love what they're doing. It's a group of academics and they have support and they built an office and they have a publication, which I also subscribe to. And they put money behind it and they're getting better. They've been doing it for years. I was listening to an episode today and the audio was garbage. It's really bad. And it's been bad. And I was like, you guys, Shad alone could turn their game around for $50.
You should email them and tell them that they
should email them and be like, hey, I got referred.
Well, I've tried to do that before.
Yeah,
I've tried to email people.
Cold call people?
Because they have garbage audio.
Oh, dude.
Never works well.
I actually could do that for you. You want me to
Never works well.
Really?
Yeah, because they're self-conscious.
You're not cold call personality.
Yeah, they're self-conscious. Well, I've cold called. I've gotten a lot of good clients.
I'm sure you have,
calling. But saying I didn't like your episode. You should hire me to do better. Yeah. It doesn't work. I am mad.
I can see that pissing people off for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you guys do. All I'm saying is you guys do a good job. I listen to people who have more money than you, and ostensibly have some sort of editor, rather than just you editing it yourself. And bro, it was rough, dude. It sounded like someone left a TV, an old CRT or what are the old TVs?
Well, so there's this weird thing that happens
just
when
the fizzies in the background the whole time.
The entry level of podcasting is really low, and that's cool. But also, what it does is somebody will say, they'll call me, and they always used to do this, especially when I was getting a lot of new clients. They would say, "How do I get professional sounding audio without recording in a studio?" And the first thing I would say was, you don't. It's not possible.
Well, you need to get a mechanical keyboard. Step one.
A mechanical keyboard, a desk that looks like it came out of a retro futurist feature.
It's I'm getting actually, sorry, we're making fun of a desk. That we actually it's actually a cool desk.
It's a cool desk,
it does look like it's trying to be. It's like from Aliens, actually. It's something like what they imagine the future would look like.
In Aliens, everything is like this future 70s.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars.
This is kind of giving me future 70s vibe. Almost.
Oh, really?
And it's pure whiteness. It would not look out of place on the Nostromo. Yeah.
Okay.
We've talked about aliens before on this.
Yeah, that's true.
Stop.
We're
not doing this. Go back.
But what I'm saying is that what happens is that I'll give guidelines.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of clients that I used to have. I don't have anymore.
Wait, so they reach out where they're like, tell me if this is feasible?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, actually.
Well, so it is. It's actually really easy to create professional audio by yourself.
ChatGPT, baby.
Well, no, it's nothing to do with ChatGPT. But it's easy to do professional audio-ish, not actual professional audio, by yourself in a room. It just requires you to be disciplined. And there's this thing that exists in every sort of broadcasting.
You mean in terms of your voice and how you...
No. It's just basically the way you set the room up.
Sure.
Record in the same room. Make sure
consistent.
Yeah.
Consistent. Oh, yeah. Consistency is king because you can easily tweak an EQ on something if it's consistent.
Yes.
And you can like move the highs. But when people are like yelling in the mic or they're back, the worst is when people who are big laughers.
Yes.
On a podcast.
Well, if you've noticed, my mic discipline is pretty good when it comes to my laughing. My face is moving.
I thought you just
away from the
on
microphone.
hardly.
Yes. But no, it's less about that, and it's more just about just make sure you're set up even, where your mic's plugged in, what room you're recording in, etc.
That your mic is plugged in.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, plug it in, guys.
So, but the thing is that you'll always get good audio initially, and then slowly but surely things will move down. Right? Slowly but surely.
You mean throughout the episode?
Yeah. No, as the episodes go on. Because
like the series continues.
Yeah, because people's expectations, they'll be like, oh, Shad will get this, Shad will get this, Shad will get this. And then the quality goes down and down and down and down.
You said people's. You're referring to one individual.
No, I'm thinking about 3 or 4 clients off the top of my head. It's
I thought you meant the people who came on Monday. I thought you were throwing shade at Dylan, and Dylan's over here with bad mic discipline. And you're like, I can do whatever I want. Shad's going to fix it in post.
No, I'm saying just people who actually paid me. And the thing
you're saying there's a bunch of like conservative political talk hosts who had too many jacks and rolled in, and they're like, "We'll just get out your iPhone. We'll cut this in voice recorder.
Yeah,
Shad will fix it in post."
Well, it's mostly conservative nonprofits and magazines, but
who did have too much jack?
Yes, exactly. But it'll be a pretty consistent, just slow to great in quality.
Yeah,
and you have to put yourself in a position where you're like, okay, do I bitch at them about this? And it's like, you can send 2 or 3.
My daughter might be listening because my wife puts it on speaker.
Yeah, well, she'll probably be listening in maybe 5 or 6 years. She'll.
You might still be doing it. God bless you.
Yeah.
You should say something.
Yeah.
But as a professional, people need to give feedback.
Yeah.
People need to be able to say like, "Hey, I really appreciate you and all that you do and the work you're doing. I want to give you some professional feedback. Are you open to hearing that?" And they say yes, and I've noticed that your mic quality is trash.
Well, so I would do that. And the thing is that because
Shad's fired.
Well, because you're you're working at will.
Yeah.
They're not like, this isn't my boss. So we'll take him, we'll take what he has to say, and maybe we'll make it 20% better rather than the 100% it needs to be for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to let it slip again.
Okay.
Right? And then you have to sit there and you have to say to yourself, well, do I actually sit there and do I enforce this? Do I say, no, you have to get it better? It's like, no, because they're paying me. Yeah. And so you have to just say, okay, I just don't put my name on the podcast. Now,
here's the thing,
and I continue to edit it.
Do they know if it's bad quality, though? Do people listen to their podcast?
Well, people listen to their podcast, but apparently nobody's complaining about it. And it's because
I can tell immediately it really is frustrating when there's bad podcasts, like audio. And when the levels are off, too, and there's one... Dude, the worst is when one guy
is super quiet,
is loud, and the other dude is quiet, and you're like, and you got to jack it up to hear the quiet dude who sometimes has something insightful to say.
Yeah.
And the other dude is just like coming in to like make a one-liner, and he's screeching in the mic.
Yeah. The whole problem with that is that, I got really good because people sent me such bad audio at fixing audio.
Yeah. And
so then they stopped caring about whether or not the audio was good because they could fix it.
They said, Shad's got the magic touch, baby.
Here. It never sounded as good as good recorded audio, but it sounded passable. And all that mattered was that it was passable. But
to them.
Yeah. Well, you get rid of audio and it would sound like somebody, they'd be sitting 2 inches away from
Hey there, we're recording from a blender today.
Yes. No, seriously.
Turn it on. Seriously. Watch your legs, Johnny.
Yeah. They would record 2 inches away from an HVAC system. And then it would sound like somebody had
that was really bad mic discipline, by the way. I go on hardly right in there.
And it would sound like somebody hadn't plugged the microphone in properly. And there was there would be an electric scream the entire time. They're 2 inches away from an HVAC, and nobody on the Zoom call was like, hey, by the way, you sound like shit. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's actually even worse is that you've got people on Zoom.
Yeah.
Because Zoom also exports as an MP4, right?
Well,
so can you get levels?
Mostly I would require that people record on Riverside FM, but that also exports as an MP4 and an MP3.
But do you have different tracks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is on a different track. Okay. So luckily there wasn't that problem with a lot of my clients and a lot of the people the people I still work with, their audio is great. But I just got really good at just bastardizing the audio. The thing is now there's AI tools and all sorts of stuff where you can make it sound passable. The funny thing is it sounds nothing like them. And they don't care. but it'll be like
because it modulates.
Yeah, because it modulates
and
stuff.
It cuts corners.
Because if you're putting audio into a system, if you're putting audio into a system and it's somebody talking and it's got a million layers of static and insane stuff over it, right? Yeah. If you put it to an AI tool, they're gonna pick what they think the voice is and then amplify that, and so then it'll be like 2 octaves off. And you'd be like, look, this doesn't actually sound like you. I don't care.
No one actually listens to your podcast anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I never got the back ends. Nobody ever let me into the back end. I never got to see how many people listened to the shows I edited. So
hey, dude, you're getting the paycheck.
Yeah,
you're getting their back end.
Yeah, well, I get the money, and they get to say that they have a podcast, which nowadays is imperative. How's your eyesight?
Your what?
Your eyesight.
My eyesight?
Yeah.
It used to be 20/20. I actually seen the doctor soon because there's things.
You
want me to see what the
what does
timing?
that say on time?
Oh no, the chair's in the way.
Yeah. Do I have to get up? I might have to get up. You make some noise, talk for like a couple seconds.
No, I got it. Is this gonna be the only episode where we never talked about a monomaniacal obsession?
No, it's the brain trust.
But even on the previous brain trusts, we hit some sort of monomaniacal obsession.
Well, how about this?
Can we break all the rules? What if we just kept talking until our tap was all gone? And we just I don't know. I'm having a good time. Are you having a good time?
I am. We can move this onto the Patreon because we've hit the hour.
I'm enjoying our conversation.
I am too. Let's move this onto the Patreon. Yeah. We're going to continue this conversation. If you want to hear more of the Brain Trust, subscribe to the Patreon.
I might actually talk about my monomaniacal obsession.
Yeah. That's called an upsell. You're
okay, I actually
content.
I don't have a monomaniacal obsession because by definition that's like a fast interest. I've got a long, deep-seated thing that's been nagging at me. I'm gonna unload it.
All right, so Jake is gonna unload.
Unzips.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you in the Patreon if that's possible. $5 if you want to listen. $1 if you want to support.
I don't pay.
Yes. See you then.
Never heard one.
Bye.